YouTube Nation, Maven TV, aka Me TV, aka tell him, Manny, are you okay? Are you okay, Manny? I mean, seriously, before we get started, though, I do have a couple things I want to say, all right? And I really want to get this. Before I get started everything, I just want to say, if you hear a lot of banging going on, there's some construction going on over top of me, all right, the apartment above me. I was going to do this video yesterday. As you know, I already told you guys on Twitter, I'm not in the mood to do this. I really don't care to do this. Yesterday, I was actually motivated and I was happy to do it, but I'm not today. But the construction was so loud yesterday, I couldn't even hear myself think. You know what I mean? So, let alone you guys sitting through that. So, if you hear some banging going on, it's because of the idiots upstairs. It really is. All right? So, before I start, listen, I do want to talk about one more thing. Last night, for those who don't know, Capcom got in contact with me about Devil May Cry, specifically Greg Mann. They want to clear the air about some things and behavior issues with the Capcom community. I didn't answer them yet. You know what I mean? Last night, I felt it was best for me to wait today and do it less, charge less emotional place. It would have been a completely different message I'd have wrote him if so. So, and he did seem that he was very respectful when he was talking to me about things, so I will contact him in the same respect. You get what I'm saying? I have to do that after this video, actually. Also, I just want to talk about media in general, all right? For what I've seen as of late, it's so sickening. Look, guys, I haven't watched SportsCenter in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because it's been just so bad. I can't sit and stomach watching it because the way they promote things. Was it just yesterday? I was watching CSN and they had said that Nick Foles can do no wrong. He can do no wrong, really, really. That's what they said. And you know what? It turned my stomach so bad I turned the channel. You know what I mean? There was other places that were saying that he's a hero and everything. Look, man, he plays football. I'm not trying to hear he's a hero. No way. I'll save that for the Eagles talk. Okay? I will. Let's just get on Manny Pacquiao. I'm just saying that the media goes to show you that they don't care about educating sports fans. They just want sheep. That's what they want. Whether it's video game companies, sports media, whatever. They want sheep. No one's giving you the real. And you should know by now. If you're watching these videos as long as, I've been doing them, you know what the deal is. You know what's up. You know for everything I've shown you. It's, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care about them anymore. You know what I mean? They're all the same. They all want you, oh, yeah, we care about you, we care about you, we care about you, until they get what they want and then they drop you. That's what it comes down to. And you know what? It gets to the point where you got to get smart enough to drop them before they drop you. You get what I'm saying? I've survived this long without them. I'll survive even longer. You know what I mean? That's simple. So, let's move on. Manny Pacquiao. All right, Manny Pacquiao Marquez fight. Let's talk about this. First off, it was a great fight. I don't know why people are giving Manny Pacquiao so much credit. So much flack for everything that happened. He got knocked out. It happens. You know what I mean? But here's the thing that I don't understand. All right, why would you get so aggressive with a counterpuncher with the stopping power of Marquez? That makes no sense to me. Now, I will talk about this because, as we know, they came out, it was a hyped-up fight. We all know how this is. They came out, Marquez pretty much drew first blood, knocked down Manny Pacquiao, which we thought would never, we wouldn't see happen because the way these guys have fought before, in the past, Marquez had said he was going for a knockout this time. He couldn't leave it up to the judges because we know what happened, all right? Now, remind you guys that a couple months ago when I did a video on this, I said, I showed you guys in the link that Freddie Roach did not want to take this fight against Marquez. He didn't want to. He knew what the problem was. He knew what was going to happen. He didn't want to, all right? But anyways, let's fast forward back. Okay, so he knocks down Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao actually does the right thing in this point because he actually responds the right way. He gets back up on his feet. He's actually moving faster. He's getting a little bit more aggressive, and then he knocks down Marquez. Now, Marquez, a lot of people like to say that, Manny Pacquiao really didn't knock down Marquez because his glove hit the canvas. No, that's a knockdown. If your glove hits the canvas, it's a knockdown, okay? If you look at the replay, he caught him with a nice punch, all right? That's simple. It knocked him off balance. He was going to fall. Without that hand holding him up, he'd have fell. That's simple, all right? It's a knockdown. So, both guys are fighting. Now, here's the thing that I don't understand, all right? Manny Pacquiao's getting more and more aggressive. Now, I understand sometimes it could be at the heat of the moment, but as we all know, Marquez is a power puncher, and he's a counter puncher. We know this. Marquez, like I said, he came in saying that he was looking for a knockout. Jim Lampley told everyone before the fight started, all right, that Marquez had a completely different training regimen. He was building for power. That's what he was doing, all right? He was looking for a knockout. For Manny Pacquiao, because what he did, he walked into that punch. I don't think I've ever seen a devastating knockout like that in a long time, but a more perfect punch, all right? You could have put a heavyweight in there with Marquez. If he'd have walked into that punch, that heavyweight would have been knocked out. That's how perfect that punch was. That was something that you don't see a lot. There was no, oh, I'm going to close my eyes and just throw a wild swing. No, if you look at it, you slow down the punch. The technical punch, the way he swung it, it is perfect. It is delivered perfect. It dropped Manny, he face planted into the ground, and then that was it. Now here's my problem, okay? Because everyone's cheering, everyone's happy, and I'm like, yo, Manny's not moving. You know, there's a difference between being knocked out and being unconscious. There's a difference. Manny's not moving. He's laying straight on the ground. I'm like, I'm hoping that he's okay. You know what I mean? There's something wrong with this guy. He's down on the ground. Nobody's doing anything. He's laying there for minutes at a time, and no one's checking on him. Not his corner, not his promoter, nobody. All right, I understand Marquez is because he's too busy cheering. He won. You know what I mean? He's going back to his corner. But nobody's checking on Manny. So I'm thinking, this is something serious. So they finally turn him over, and he still is out. He's out. He doesn't even look like he's breathing. And yet, you know, they finally get everyone together. And you know what, Jim Lampley, he talks about how to put this, his coverage of Manny Pacquiao is so biased, all right? And we saw this not too long ago when that YouTuber made that video about Jim Lampley during the Bradley fight. Now, here's another thing I don't like, all right? Because Jim Lampley, during the fight, if you're watching the fight, and you listen to the commentary, Jim Lampley is giving Pacquiao all this credit, but not really Marquez on the exchanges. There was one time he gave Marquez an exchange, credit on the exchange from the uppercut, but Marquez had threw like 4 or 5 different on-the-button uppercuts before that. You know what I mean? And he didn't say anything. He just kept complimenting Manny. And Roy Jones actually corrected Lampley on it. It was just ridiculous. And, you know, I'm surprised he's not in a corner somewhere crying after the fight, Jim Lampley. It's just ridiculous. I don't know why you would have such a bias during that type of fight. It's hard to listen to Jim Lampley when you're watching boxing, especially when he plays his favorites. It just is, all right? Now, I will say this. I'm happy that Manny, you know, Pacquiao is okay. It's ridiculous that he laid on that ground that long. That is absolutely ridiculous, all right? For those who don't know, he actually had to go to the hospital and go get a CAT scan just for precautions on his head to make sure he was okay, which took, you know, forever. And the thing is, while Manny was down on the ground, Lampley screaming rematch. Rematch. Oh, there has to be a fifth fight. There has to be a fifth fight. We don't even know if Manny was up at the time. He was still unconscious. He's screaming rematch. You gotta be kidding me. Like, it's disrespectful. It really is to the boxer. Now, I will put it like this. Marquez said he wouldn't rule out a fifth fight. Manny said he wouldn't rule out a fifth fight. I think Manny is taking this all in stride. That's right, because, you know, ever since he's been knocked out, he's had a smile on his face. He's saying, hey, it happens. You know, he knows, you know, he can poke fun at himself. And it's funny because ever since the knockout, we have seen so many memes of Manny Pacquiao being knocked out come down the pipe now. And those are just a few. People have done music videos. I mean, it's getting out of hand. Now, put it like this. If you go to Manny Pacquiao's official Twitter, that's all it is photos of people sending them, oh, I found you, Pacquiao. It's a guy like laying on a beach, or he photoshopped him, you know, doing something else. It's ridiculous on how many people are just, this isn't going away anytime soon. And now I'm seeing a lot of people who like Floyd Mayweather, his fan base, are starting to go after Pacquiao. Look, it's really obvious that Pacquiao should have not taken this fight. Like I said, Freddie Roach knew not to take this fight months ago when I did a video on it, and he said he shouldn't have taken it. He really should have taken the fight with Mayweather. And I put it like this. As much as people like Mayweather, and Mayweather is so-called the greatest, Mayweather doesn't have that stopping power that Marquez has. We know this. Don't sit here and lie to me and tell me that he can take one punch and knock Manny Pacquiao. No way. All right? Manny Pacquiao is not that, Floyd Mayweather is not that much of a power fighter. He is a finesse fighter. He is built off speed, not power. There's a difference. If you know your boxing, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, I will put it like this. Congratulations to Marquez. The Pacquiao thing happened. And then Nike, after Pacquiao was knocked out, right? Pacquiao put on the shirt. And it's interesting because I feel Nike jumped the gun on this one on promoting Pacquiao. We understand he signed with them, you know. But, you know, to say that he had already won this fight before it even happened. And then you wear it saying that it's over even though you got knocked out. Now, since then, there's many articles from writers that have come out saying that Manny should retire, which is a bunch of crap. Let me tell you something, all right? If Manny retires, it's because he has a lot of duties to, you know, he has a lot of obligations to his country. That's it. That's the only reason. Other than that, no, he shouldn't retire, especially with that payday still on the table with Mayweather. Don't tell me just because he lost that still wouldn't sell. That's ridiculous, all right? So I'm not trying to hear it. Manny will retire when he is ready. I keep telling you guys, though, Bob Arum is a problem. He really is a problem. And you know what? I understand a lot of people are saying, you know, that night when it happened, that Bob Arum was giving him all these easy fights before then. That's what people were saying. I'm not saying I said it. all right? But they were giving all these easy fights before him, and this is what really happens. You know what? I put it like this. Bob Arum, he's a huge problem in boxing right now. He is, all right? But I do want to move on to more combat sports. I want to talk about MMA. That's right. Now, for those who saw what happened, UFC on Fox, I'm only going to talk about one fight because, you know, for this greatest card on public TV ever, it was quite a snooze fest. All these big-time fights, and guess what? Most of them decision. Most of them decision. A lot of them didn't even look good. Some fighters didn't even come to fight. I don't even understand. The prelims were actually pretty much better than a lot of these big-time fights. All right, I can't tell you how many times I get tired of seeing Shogun Rua, who I do like as a fighter, gets gassed by the second round. What's going on here? I understand he's a big man, but you have to work on your stamina, man. What is the problem? I don't understand this, all right? But I want to talk about this real quick. Nate Diaz. That's right. We all know, when you're watching Nate Diaz, you know what you're getting with him. You know he's going to have this type of attitude. For those who don't know what's going on, because we know he got dominated in that fight, all right? I mean, let's be quite honest here. Benson, he was faster, he was more physical, and he had a better fight plan. That's simple, all right? More well-rounded. That's simple. Now, I'll put it like this. Nate Diaz, when he was fighting Benson, was constantly giving him the finger and stuff like that. And for those who watched the fight, Fox kept cutting to an empty ring. And apparently now reports are coming out that Fox is very upset with Nate Diaz because of it. Well, Fox, you know what? It's a fight. That's going to happen. Emotions are going to happen. Do you think that everyone's just going to keep their mouth shut or just act all prissy when they're fighting, when blood is involved and contact and slamming? Are you serious, Fox? It's quite obvious Fox does not need the UFC. The UFC is too, I'll put it like this, it's too violent for Fox. That's what it comes down to. And it's funny because Fox are the same people who show all types of stuff where, you know, they're shooting people in movies and in their shows and stuff. They're shooting people and blowing buildings up and stuff. But as soon as Nate Diaz flips off, you know, Benson, all of a sudden, we got to stop that. Are you serious? Come on. It's a fight. Worse things happen in a fight. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I put it like this. He got destroyed. And this is why I find funny because, see, there they go starting to hammer again. But this is why I find funny. They can get on Nick Diaz because they're saying, you know, I keep saying Nick, his brother Nick, is Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? They keep getting on Nate Diaz for being unsportsmanlike, but yet you don't get on Rory, all right, for doing this little shuffle against BJ Penn. I don't understand this. And a lot of people had said against Rory how, you know, it almost looked like he was on steroids. And you know what? If you look at him, if you looked at all the acne on his back, on his chest, on his face, I can understand why people would feel that way. That is very uncommon, all right, especially for a guy in his type of training. If you don't understand how training works, no way, unless you're taking something, I can understand why people feel that way. I'm not saying the guy's on steroids, but I can see why people feel that way. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I just thought that he destroyed BJ Penn. Let's be honest here, all right? And I thought that BJ Penn had pretty much checked out after the second round. So, almost the end of the first round and the second, I was like, yeah, he's done. There was times where he wasn't even trying to be aggressive. He would just walk to a corner and do like this and just try to defend himself. I'm like, wow. Like, I didn't expect that from BJ Penn. You know what I mean? So, obviously, he was hurt. I do want to talk about Eagles fans. Eagles, let's get something straight here. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but you're sitting here, and like I said, you're listening to the media about Foles being a hero and that he can do no wrong. Look, last time I checked, Foles, when they played, he was overthrowing receivers down the deep end constantly. I don't know why he keeps looking for Riley Cooper. I understand that these guys used to work with each other in the second unit all the time in practice, but Riley Cooper is not the one. I don't know why people keep thinking this dude is. And as far as I'm concerned, he can go too. There's no reason for this, all right? But that's not all. I see a lot of Eagles fans, ever since the win, they're fighting. You got Vic fans fighting Foles fans. You got Eagles fans who all of a sudden think that this team is going to do something, as opposed to other fans who say, hey, look, they just won 4 games. What's the big deal? It's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? You got Andy Reid, who's so happy. He was turning red. You guys are like, yeah, they're passing out the happy pills and, you know, spreading the happy gas around over in the press conference. Everyone's happy. They act like they won Super Bowl. I don't understand this. You've won 4 games. I don't get it. I understand that you broke the streak. I understand it. It's okay for people to be happy about that. But don't make it more than what it really is. And you Eagles fans, that's what you're doing. You're making it more than what it really is. How can you be a fan yet sitting on the train with a knockoff jersey? Yo, the name isn't even spelled right. And you're going to sit here. What happened? What the hell happened to his fan base, man? What happened? I don't understand. See, and the thing is, nobody tries to correct them either. But when I come out and say these things, I'm the bad guy. And then when I'm proven right, you get salty. Whatever, man. I'm just so sick of this. I really am. Like, it's the revolving door. Same thing over and over. Once again, I used to say it with gaming fans, now I'm going to say it with sports fans. You don't learn from your mistakes. You don't. So history keeps repeating itself, all right? And there's talk of keeping Andy Reid. It's not going to happen. It's not. If it does, I would be shocked if it really does. But I really don't think it's going to happen. So just stop, all right? Everyone's saying, well, what if they went out for the rest of the season? Did you not learn from the end of the last season? That's what they did, right? Oh, it's clicking, so maybe next year. Yeah. It's the same thing. Just stop. All right, look, I'm going to move on to the Phillies, all right? Apparently, there's a lot of butthurt Phillies fans out there after what I said last week, all right? And we'll talk about this because Phillies fans, you have to understand. Last season, and I'll tell you now, if you haven't seen my How to Fix the Phillies video, that was the problem last season. We only missed the playoffs by a couple games, right? Okay, so the bullpen has not been addressed at all right? Not at all. And you give up one of your starting pitchers, which makes no sense. We get an outfielder. Okay, now they're talking about he may be leading off. We know that's not going to happen. Jimmy Rollins leads off. He going to go second, all right? Let's just get that out of the way. Unless Jimmy Rollins getting moved that I don't know about, all right? But we know how this goes. Jimmy always leads off. Now, we'll put it like this. We just got Michael Young, which is the worst thing you could do. And I say this due to the fact that, you know, you sat here and all you guys said, oh, well, we are getting young. And I showed you the tweets about it. We're getting younger. We're getting younger. You went and got Michael Young, who's a 36-year-old man who was coming off one of his worst seasons, and he played as a DH. You're going to start him at third base? Are you serious? Come on, man. Stop this. And they're saying, oh, well, it's a power play. It's getting young will probably bring Josh Hamilton here. Look, y'all got to give up on this Josh Hamilton thing, all right? We still have a lot of things to, you know, incorporate. You know, a lot of people are saying that we're like 20, 25 mil under the cap still or something like that. We have a lot of pieces we need to get. Like I said, we need to restructure that bullpen if we're going to have a chance. Pitching wins championships. And a lot of people, we talked in the comments and everything, you're saying timely hitting. Understand, timely hitting is because pitching is so good in the playoffs. So, yes, you need timely hitting. But if you look outside of last season, the seasons before that, every team in the majors, all right, in the playoffs, they were batting mid to low 200s. You know what that means? That means pitching dominates. That's what you need. Bats come and go. Don't you understand that? They come and go. People get hot, they get cold. It happens, all right? But pitchers, they have to stay consistent. And that's what our focus should be on with the Phillies. And it seems like everyone wants to fight me on this for some reason. You know what I mean? But I put it like this. There's nothing really to fight about because I don't have any control over the Phillies. All right? But that's my opinion. You get what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Understand, guys, Michael Young move is not good. And here's the thing. I'm not the only person that feels that way. I have seen so many Philly fans that are upset about this move. And I think it makes it even more, it's worse, the fact that he waited so long to say, okay, I want to go to the Phillies. Philly fans, they were kind of upset that he was taking his sweet time. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, nobody's really happy with this move. We have to see what comes down in the future. But right now, I'm not very happy with the Phillies at all. I don't know why people are so high on the acquisitions that we have. I mean, everyone keeps saying that we need bats, bats, and bats. You have to understand the bullpen. And I threw that stat out there in that one video I did, how they lost X amount of games. When we had leads, they blew leads. So it's not that the bats weren't there. It's just they couldn't hold on to the lead. It's that simple. There was times in games last year when we were up 5-6 runs, and the bullpen still blew it. You understand it is a pitching problem, not a batting problem. But people still want to see big home runs and big hits and more consistent. If these guys score 14 runs, that's what you want. You want like 14 runs a game. This is baseball, man. That doesn't happen all the time. You know? I just don't understand it. I really don't with Phillies fans. You know, like I said, between the Sixers fans, I'm not going to talk about the Sixers today. I'm just not. I'll just wear a hat. I'm not talking about Sixers. All right? But between Sixers fans, Phillies fans, and Eagles fans, I can't even say Flyers fans because it's not going on right now. All right? I just don't understand this. Where are these rabid fans coming from? You have to start questioning these people like, wait a minute, where did this come from? What are you talking about? Like, it makes no sense to me. None of it, as far as I'm concerned. Also, I want to talk about the game. You guys had asked me yesterday who I thought was going to win the Patriots Texans game. I said the Patriots would win. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Carolina actually won, which was shocking. I have to talk about this. Cardinals fans, what's going on out there? You guys got destroyed. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. And Vince Young came out not too long ago after the game, after the Cardinals got beat so bad, and was like, yeah, y'all know I can help, right? Y'all know I can help. So now Vince Young is begging for a job. You've got to be kidding me. They got 3 quarterbacks on staff right now. What happened to the Cardinals fans where they were like, yeah, Kevin Kolb was the guy. Kevin Kolb, he's the guy. And then we saw what happened, and they had Skelton, and Skelton was the guy. They don't know who the guy is out there, as far as I'm concerned. And and it's hurting Larry Fitzgerald. What is he supposed to do if he don't have no one who can throw him the ball? I mean, it's hard to watch. It just is. Cardinals fans, I feel for you, but really, you have to start facing reality, and someone has to go on that quarterback staff. Somebody has to go. I'm just saying they do. But Seattle fans, I do want to give you credit, for pretty much blowing them out. And I put it like this because you guys were telling me the announcers were getting mad that Seattle kept running up the score. And that's what you're supposed to do in football. If anyone is complaining about running up the score, then yeah, you obviously have no business talking about football. You're supposed to keep playing. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're up by that much, I don't think your starting quarterback should be. I'm against that. You give the backup some time to, give themselves some play if you're up by 50-plus points. But no, you don't stop scoring because you're up by so much. There's no mercy rule in football. You get what I'm saying? No, I'm not trying to hear that. Unless someone just says we quit and walks off the field, no mercy rule, you keep playing. Also, Giants fans, I got to talk to you. 49ers fans, I should say, too. 49ers fans, for those who don't know, your team has suspended Brandon Jacobs for the rest of the season because he went on Instagram and started showing these pictures and started trashing on the 49ers team and saying how he wished he was back, with the Giants. He's wearing his Giants jersey. He's got his Super Bowl rings on. I mean, yeah. This is a problem. I don't understand what's going on out there in San Francisco. So Niners fans, please get back to me. Also, Cap, your guy Cap? I don't understand what's going on with the media. Now they're trying to say that there's some type of racism going on because he has tattoos or something. I don't get it, man. This is stupid. All right, let the guy play. If he's the guy, let him play. I do feel bad for Alex Smith that he's not getting a chance. I believe he needs to come back and play this season. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate what happened to him, but you just don't take his job away from him. You just don't. You know what I mean? And he talked about this in the beginning of the season, did he not? Before he signed that contract, he was vying for it. He was like, wait a minute, I've been treated pretty bad here at times, and now we're seeing it again. So I don't know. Alex Smith will be a free agent, I believe, isn't it? At the end of the season, we'll see what happens. So yeah, and when I meant signing a contract, I meant an extension. So yeah. Anyways, I believe that's it. Oh, Ravens fans, I'm shocked that you lost. I really am. Ray Lewis has been working out hard to come back. Triceps, you tear him both triceps. I put it like this. He's obviously on something, and I'm not saying that to be mean. Every player is on something when they are injured, when they're rehabilitating. They are allowed to take, certain, dare I say, steroids or PEDs because I've explained this before. When they are injured, there is no law against it. It's to get them back into the game. All right, faster. That's what it is. There's no law against that, as long as it's out of their system, I believe. Before when they come back. However, I don't think that something like that, when you take something like that, can be completely out of your system, at least by the first game. It's just weird to see a guy who is worked so hard, and I believe that is dedication, but come out of nowhere and they say, you're done for the season. You're done, and then all of a sudden he's back. Like, that is a very quick turnaround. Something's up. All right, and I'm not bagging on him. Like I said, it takes dedication to do that, but Ravens fans at least acknowledge that there is something going on there. You have to. You just have to. Anyways, I'm done for today. I'm not even going to talk basketball. I'm really not. Like I said, I'm not in the mood to do this. Other than the Lakers, when you going to get rid of D'Antoni, Lakers fans? I'm just saying, you letting Howard shoot threes? You want to do that? You should be benching him by now. This is ridiculous. There's no reason for you to have that type of squad and not be winning games. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Today's Tuesday. I will be checking out Knicks Nets. That's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, it is. Talk to y'all then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.